I just finished up high school and I just met my future wife at that point. And I think growing up, like a lot of kids, like growing up playing sports and stuff, I grew up playing baseball. And so that's all I really focused on. Like that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a baseball player. So things kind of changed when I realized that wasn't going to happen. A career in sports wasn't going to happen for me. So I met my future wife, and she was very driven, knew exactly what she wanted to do with her career and with her studies. So she wanted to be a veterinarian. So she went up to UF to start studying for school up there, and I followed her up there shortly after that. So after realizing that, I wasn't gonna have a career in sports, I'd spent several years trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do with my career. I bounced around with different degrees throughout college, had a hard time really narrowing it down what I wanted to do. So that's when I started to get my degree in biology and really kind of fell in love with that degree and started thinking about what I could do beyond that. I remember distinctly having a conversation with a good friend of mine at the time. He was thinking about continuing a career into commercial real estate. So we started talking real estate at that point, and I started reading some books. And the first book that I read that really changed it all for me and changed my mindset around, what my career would look like was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. The classic way that we were kind of taught as kids, you go to school, you get a college degree, and you save up money, you work your 9 to 5, and then you retire and you live a good life. So seeing those two different perspectives really changed it for me. Being a shy kid, being introverted growing up, I could never really picture myself being in front of other people, kind of talking about real estate or whatever it was. I got to a point where I felt like I just needed to try this career out. I started the career in real estate, and my wife wasn't the biggest fan of like having a commission only job. What happens if you don't make money? So one of the things we did was, it took me a year. I had my first closing almost a year to the date. There was definitely some times from 6 months to a year when I had considered getting a job again, and what would I do if I couldn't close a deal or get that first sale. Once I got that first sale, it really kind of built up and instilled some confidence in me that I could do this, and also just the feeling you get from helping that family, sell their homes. So now I understand, kind of what it takes to be successful, the journey that I've gone on to, grow personally and professionally, has helped me in so many ways. And I'm so grateful for, my journey and kind of my story and where it's led me to today. So I think the big takeaway is fear, like overcoming our own fears. Like we all have fears. Even the most successful people have had to overcome some of their own fears personally as well, right? The biggest difference between the people that are successful and the people that aren't successful is they are the ones that have just overcome those fears. And at the end of the day, I don't think the fears that we think about in our head before we actually take action on those fears, they're not as bad as we may make them seem, right? So the key takeaway is just take action. Do it anyway.